5K, the innate immune response, also known as a non-specific immune response. This response requires the use of our white blood cells, the neutrophils, basophils, and eosinophils, which are found suspended in your blood plasma. This response occurs if a pathogen were able to enter into the body, either through the mouth, nose, eye, or a break in the skin. This is the response that all humans are born with, so it is often described as being internal and an innate immunity. This is a non-specific immune response, as any antigen will elicit a similar response, be it an allergen, a bacteria, a virus, a fungus, or a parasitic worm. In our example, we will use a splinter that has broken the first line of your defense, the skin. Along with the splinter are pathogens, which may include harmful bacteria. When the skin and connective tissue are broken by the splinter, damaged mast cells in the tissues will release a chemical called histamine, which is a blood thinner. The white blood cell basophils will also release histamine in the presence of pathogens and allergens, and as a result, we will see similar symptoms as with hay fever. The blood capillaries will dilate, allowing for more blood to arrive at the location, which will aid in killing pathogens. Blood capillaries will also become porous, which will allow for plasma and white blood cells to leak out from the blood into the infected area. This helps by allowing clotting factors to attend to the break in the skin and any breaks in capillaries. Plasma leaking into the area also dilutes the foreign cells, allowing for immune cells such as neutrophils to phagocytize or eat them. As more blood cells arrive, some of the white blood cells, especially the neutrophils, will die in lyse, releasing their contents, which we see as pus. This helps in draining out the pathogen from the wound. This process is often called the inflammatory response, as the site of the infection is often warm, swollen, and tender to the touch due to the increased blood and plasma. Large leukocytes called monocytes arrive and transform into macrophages that will eat foreign cells in great numbers without lysing, as neutrophils do. Monocytes also release a chemical called cytokines, which will recruit more phagocytic cells to join the fight. Multicellular parasites such as worms are often dealt with the white blood cell called the eosinophil. Although they are very effective in dealing with multicellular pathogens, they tend to do considerable cell damage in general, so their use is limited by the body if possible. Some of the pathogens will arrive at the lymph nodes as interstitial fluid enters the lymphatic system. If the infection is bad enough, the feeding macrophages will release a chemical signal called pyrogens, which will travel to the brain via the blood. Pyrogens will trigger the temperature-regulating center of the brain, called the hypothalamus, to increase the body's temperature. This results in a fever. The increased heat results in a slightly higher rate of reaction for the enzymes to help fight infections. Bacteria and viruses also function in a very narrow range, so increased temperature greatly helps in the fight against the infection. Fever also triggers the liver and spleen to reduce iron release, which is needed by viruses and bacteria to reproduce. Typically, the innate immune response is enough to win the fight over such localized infections. However, if the infection manages to take hold and spread, then the use of medicines such as antibiotics or antivirals may be prescribed by your doctor.